Okay, this video is going to cover a few different skills in PowerPoint. I think it'll be pretty quick, pretty easy. We see here that I'm on slide 1. I'm going to create a new slide here, and I want to pick the layout. So I'm going to click on the bottom half of the new slide button, and I'm going to go with, say, a to content layout. Okay, so we already know that we can click to add title. This is the title. And these are all called placeholders, right? So I'm going to click down here on this placeholder, and you see that when I'm clicked here, I'm at the bulleted list. And so if I type a bulleted list, so I'm going to call this first level of bulleted list. And you see if I hit enter, then it creates just another bullet, right? And if I hit enter again, though, if I want a sub-level to this bullet, what I have to do is hit the tab key. So you can see here that this is an indented bullet, right? So this is sort of a second level bullet, so to speak. And if I were to hit enter again, it would create another bullet here that's at the same level. Okay. And if I go again and I want to go back up to the other level, instead of hitting tab, I can just simply hit shift tab. And what that will do is bring me back to another first level bullet. So while you're typing, what you can do is use the tab key and the shift tab key to bring you either up a level or back a level. Okay. Now, if you have an existing list like this one, and you want to indent it, the other thing that you can do is you can use these buttons up here in the paragraph group called increase and decrease list level. So you can see decrease list level is not available here because I'm at the top level. But if I click here and I pick increase list level, you'll see how it basically has the same effect as hitting the tab key. Okay, so and then if I want to bring it back, now you can see decrease list level is enabled. Okay, so what's nice about that is if you want to do like a multitude of them and you want to indent them, right, you can just select them and hit indent like that, and that would do more than one at a time. So, and just so you know, while you're typing these lists here, just like this kind of bullet, you can also, instead of using tab, you can use this increase list level. It has the same effect, okay, or decrease list level. Just that while you're typing, the tab key tends to be a little bit easier to use, okay. So this is a to content placeholder. And here we have the bulleted list. Over here, we could type bullets if I clicked here, but you see these icons in the middle of the screen here. The one that we're going to be focused on is this one that's called pictures. Okay, so this pictures one allows you to select pictures from your computer. Okay, this one here allows you to select pictures from online. And the online pictures that it uses is actually Bing, where you have to search in Bing. But I believe most of your pictures for your assignments, they will give you the file, so you'll have to use this pictures one. And so when you click on it, it's going to bring you out to your folders, and you're going to have to navigate your way to locate what it is that you want to find. And so I'm doing that right now. Let's see, now the PowerPoint chapter 1, and just pick something. So here's a picture right here, and I'm going to insert that. And you'll see how it inserts it inside that area there. And what I have to do is sometimes, if it directs you to do so, you'll have to resize it. And remember that you can either resize it by pulling the handles, always best to do the corners, or just like in other programs, we've learned that we have the ability over here to do the sizing. So here you can see I could set it to be like I want it to be a size 4 for height, right? And it would adjust it, the height and the width. So in addition to that, just like in other programs here, you have the picture styles available to you. So under Format and Picture Styles, remember this is the More button, and you just simply move your mouse pointer over to find whatever style it is that you want. And again, the best tip I can give you here is to make sure you're picking exactly the one that they ask you to pick in Grader, because sometimes the names are pretty similar, and you just want to make sure that you're grabbing exactly the one that they state. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to do too much with that because we've talked about formatting pictures in the past with Word, and so it seems silly to repeat that because it works pretty much exactly the same way. Okay, so the last thing that I want to show you, remember if we were to play this slideshow, right? If I go to slideshow from beginning, and if I click with my mouse or my spacebar key, or I can, hit like 2 to go back to number 2, basically you see here that the slides are just sort of appearing, kind of boring. They just pop up there. So what we want to be able to do is apply a transition to these slides. And what that means is how the slides come into the presentation. So when we're at transition, you see here, you actually, if you click on the More list, you have a variety of options broken down into subtle, exciting, and dynamic. And so they have a bunch of different options available. There's a couple of cool ones here. Origami is kind of fun, right? Or you could do crush. Okay, but now notice that crush over here, I just picked crush and effect options is not available, right? But watch, if I pick something like cube, okay, you'll see that I have these effect options here where I can pick from right, from bottom, from left, from top. And so basically, see, it could do it that way, okay? So just to show you a little bit more, I'll pick fracture this time. You also have the ability here. Notice when I apply this transition, it's applied to just slide 5, just the slide I'm on. You see that little star underneath the number 5? That indicates that a transition is applied to this particular slide. If I want the transition applied to all the slides, I have to simply come over here and click Apply to All. And what that will do is then apply that transition to all of the slides in the slideshow. So when I play it, you'll see that transition. It really is best to have one transition for the whole slideshow, not to have every slide sort of come in with a different transition, because it sort of takes away from the whole message of the slideshow. In addition, which this chapter doesn't talk about too much, but I'm just going to briefly talk about, you see here the advanced slide on mouse click. That means that the user is clicking the mouse or hitting the spacebar key. The user has control of when the slide transitions, okay? And that's typically what you would do if you have a slideshow that you are presenting. If it's the type of slideshow that you just want to run on its own, then you would uncheck on mouse click and set how long you want each slide to go. Hit apply to all, and then each one would go on its own. Okay, so now watch. I'm going to play the slideshow from beginning, and you'll see basically as you go from slide to slide how it transitions with that fracture transition. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to cover for this video. Hopefully you're enjoying PowerPoint.